In peacetime, the crews of the nuclear missile submarines, or boomers as they were known, performed constant drills and simulations to keep their skills sharp. Life on board the missile submarines was a constant cycle of practices and simulations for fighting a war that never came. When an actual firing order arrived, launch codes would have to be verified and authenticated immediately, and missiles were to be fired with the utmost urgency. If the deterrent was to be credible, then it had to work seamlessly and efficiently. Naval commanders also had to take note of important lessons from history in prosecuting the sea battle. The lessons of the Atlantic War had been burned into the minds of naval strategists and sailors alike. German U-boats had exacted a heavy toll on Allied shipping, bringing supplies across the ocean to the UK. World War III would again have made these supply convoys an indispensable line of communication for the Alliance, and therefore a lucrative target for the Soviet Navy. NATO forces fighting in West Germany to repulse a Soviet advance into the country would be at a disadvantage to the Soviet Union and the Warsaw Pact. They did not have fuel, ammunition, and manpower for a sustained conflict. They had a few weeks of supplies pre-positioned in Western Europe to fight a holding action. This would allow them to slow the Soviet advance while fresh troops, weapons, spare parts, and fuel were quickly brought across the Atlantic. This unfortunate position was not lost on the Soviet Navy. It realized it could influence the land battle in its favor if it could sink as much supply shipping as possible. The hunter-killer submarine became a vital asset for both sides in the East-West standoff. The Soviet Navy wasted no time in building up a significant hunter-killer submarine force in the Atlantic. This was focused on sinking Alliance nuclear missile submarines, naval shipping, and supply vessels. Meanwhile, the Alliance's hunter-killer fleet was correspondingly tasked with hitting Soviet surface vessels, ballistic missile submarines, and hunter-killers. The U.S., British, and French navies all possessed hunter-killer boats. The U.S. Navy employed them in support of carrier battle groups, while they also provided a key part of the fleet defense for the French and the British navies. The nuclear-powered hunter-killers provided the Alliance with unique ability. They were the only naval vessels that could perform anti-submarine warfare operations beneath the ice of the Arctic Ocean.